Hey everyone, welcome back to Buzzworthy. I'm your host, Shlacey Harris. I dive into the rare stories entrepreneurs tell about building their businesses, but most importantly, themselves. Let's get into it. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Buzzworthy. I'm your host, Shlacey Harris, and today we have a pair of entrepreneurs who've co-founded a company called COOCO. And today we have Allison Lay and Ryo Wu, who both originate from Vietnam, but have found their way into Hamilton through a journey where they met each other and traveled across the seas, and now creating a cooking community for us here digitally. So, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Buzzworthy, Allison and Rio.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
It's such a pleasure. I was so happy when I was introduced to both of you and got an opportunity to learn a lot about your story and how you even came together as co-founders. But your story sort of started way back when, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But I want to ask you the question both individually.
hmm
Either one of you can answer first. But what do you think helped you become an entrepreneur or allowed you to become an entrepreneur in your past?
So I can go first.
Yeah.
Honestly, that I think that nobody born as an entrepreneur, and yeah, before become have my own company, and I worked for other company about 8 years, starting from my university days, and before launching my own marketing agency, and that's what over a decade ago, and from there I graduate, found myself diving into the startup world. At first, I realized the corporate environment didn't suit me. I care deeply about the efficiency and client satisfaction,
Mhm.
and I wanted more flexibility to spend time with my family, not to spend hours navigating corporate politics or
Yeah.
rigid the process needs. From my own experience, I would say that 40 up to 60% of your time in a traditional job is spent managing people, not the actual work. So I'm very focused and quite introverted. So it makes sense for me to build something on my own term. And as I said before, that I have time to live in Japan. And I can see that a lot of people that have a busy life in Japan, they don't have time for repair every meal. So they need to make some meal plan. They need to uh, go for go to the supermarket like just 1 or 2 times per week, and
Mhm.
after that they need to make a meal plan and food preparing, just put it into the fridge, and after that they can use it for the whole week. So that's why it come up with me. And during the COVID time, I came up with my colleagues Allison to do our own business for
That's
Kuko.
amazing. That's amazing. It's incredible that you really chose entrepreneurship, Rio, because you wanted to spend more time with your family and you realize in your day-to-day you weren't actually doing the things you loved the most. And that's when you first started your marketing agency, where then you actually hired Allison as an intern. And
hmm
so, Allison, how was it, I know you didn't necessarily start off with entrepreneurship right away, but you met an entrepreneur who had, these incredible goals and values for herself and her family. And, we talk a little bit more about it in terms of work-life balance. She wanted to own her time a lot more. But what do you think, in your own experience, set you up to be an entrepreneur with who was previously your boss?
So looking back, it wasn't a single moment, but rather a series of experiences that shaped my perspective and fuel my drive. So just like Rio, I graduated with a marketing degree, and landed an internship at a big corporate firm, Ogilvy. So that's where we met. I was her intern at Ogilvy, and then after that, when she quit the job, um, I just look around the office and I ask myself, like, do I really want to stay here and become the corporate employee like all of the other people in this office? And unfortunately, the answer is no. Like, I'm even I had a chance to work with the global brands like Ogilvy and Crab, while I learned a tons of about the system, scaling, and strategy. Something just didn't click for me. So I just felt like I was a small cog in a massive machine
Yeah.
executing the task within the system that was already set in the motion. It was stable, and but it just wasn't me at all. I craved being a small, being a part of a small dynamic team where we can create a big impact, where every decision of us matter and every idea could shift to a bigger thing that we build. So
Yeah.
that's why I also quit my job at the Ogilvy, and then later on I met Rio. We became friends in the beginning, and then after that, when I learned about she was opening her own agency, marketing agency, I was like, Okay, let me help you. Like I wouldn't ask to become an official employee at first because I don't want to become a burden for her payroll. I just want to help. And
Yeah.
then after that, when we receive like more and more project together, um, we become like um colleague, and then uh, our relationship become like a colleague and mentorship, and then now we become partners in our business. So the relentlessness pushed me to rethink about like what I want to do with myself. I just don't want to optimize someone else. We don't want to optimize someone else's system. We want to build something that solves real human problem. So that mindset shape us to the path we become today.
Yeah. That's that's very inspirational because, a lot of people just sort of go about life doing exactly, what is expected of us. We go to university, which you both did. You went
Mm-hmm.
and got those corporate jobs like we're all, we all dream of when we're in university. But there was something else that was really missing from your experience there, and it's your ability to really provide value that you can feel really proud of. And
Mm-hmm.
you can say that what I did today in the office is making the world a better place with the actions that I took. And like you said, Allison, you felt like a little bit of a cog in the wheel in this big
Yes.
machine. And when you sort of stepped out from that and eventually, yourself and Rio working in your marketing agency together, you really got to, stretch your flexibility, stretch the strategies that you have done, and be creative in your own right and see the direct line of impact with what you did and the results of that. And that's something I think you're very much right in big corporate environments, which I've worked in as well. You don't always get to see the direct effect of
Mm-hmm.
what
It's true.
you have specifically contributed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another thing that we want to add to other people that to be an entrepreneur is not easy. So we do appreciate the time that we worked in the corporate company, something like that,
Yeah.
because we can saw that a lot of people after graduating from college or from university, they want to be an entrepreneur or they want to get a start a firm or something like that. But I think that they should have time to work for all the company to get more information, to get more um,
Experience.
yeah, experience and get more connection also. And after that, they will be sharpened to open their own company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You wanted to add to that, Allison?
Yeah, my opinion is pretty much the same. Like, even though the corporate life isn't for us, but working for the corporate in a short time really helped me to sharpen my mindset and learning about the system, how the big company work, how those teams and those employees connect and work together in and create a big impact for the big firm. And then like I brought all of those in my experience in working for small firms. So that's why in COOCO and in our previous marketing team, the our firm is quite small, but we work in system, so we can really solve a lot of problem with the small team, and that's our motto for now.
Yes, yes. I love that you both focused on, you know, it's really important for entrepreneurs to sharpen their skills
Mm-hmm.
before they even jump into it because like you said, entrepreneurship is very risky. And it's risky and you require a lot of flexibility. And if you haven't necessarily got the experiences or you don't know how certain big organizations or different size organizations work or function,
It's
you are only
true.
operating in your own small world
Mm-hmm.
without the knowledge of saying, how do I get from where I am to as big as they are? It
Mm-hmm.
sometimes helps, like you said, sharpen your goals, sharpen your experiences, sharpen your skills. Um, and for me, I would say that is absolutely true. Getting experience before becoming an entrepreneur definitely gives you a different line of sight and it prepares you for so much more success than if you didn't have those experiences. And not saying that somebody brand new out of the world with
Mm-hmm.
no work experience can't be successful, but having something under your belt absolutely helps you even more so. So I'm glad that you see that your corporate experience was just simply part of your journey to
Yeah.
be able to get to where you are now. And before you even created Koku, um, you had your marketing agency where you helped other startups grow their business. Like that was the niche that you had focused on. So tell us a little bit more about that and how you found yourself simply becoming a growth machine for these big these startups that were scaling their businesses.
Actually, that most of the startup that we worked before when we are running a marketing agency is like now they become some unicorn startup in Asian market. But you know that to if you want to get more consumer or customer just based on the advertising, it's kind of losing a lot of money. You're just
Yes.
throwing the money out to the a lot of the money from the pocket will go out and try to buy some customer like this. But actually that we found another way to um, utilize the money for them. Like we focus on the community more than the advertising only. For example, before launching the products or before launching their application, we try to create some community for them on the social network like Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok or something like that, and sharing about their function, sharing about their features, and have people with the same interested that they can connect together And in this community, we try to share some tips, tricks, or um, make them feel that they was become a part of the community. And
Mhm.
after a short of time, like 3 months or 6 months, when we grow a huge number of the people in the community, we inject the content of the brand into there. And after that, they
Mhm.
will be obsessed with the brand without their knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And after that, we try to convert them to be the customer for our clients, and that's what really great. And after we help these firm to get the traction from there, they will go with some like some fund or some capital to get more money, and after that they burn their money into the normal advertising later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what you did was always community first. So you really know how to build a community from scratch and make sure that, every effort, every level of work that you do pouring into that community delivers value to them. And it's sort of a
Yeah.
testing ground that you've created for a lot of these startups that push them into that mode of growth and for them to go and get more investment so they can really build their company,
Yes.
really focusing on that community aspect of it where the community proves the value, they test it out, and they give you feedback all at the same time.
Yes, true.
For example, if you want to launch an e-commerce platform, if you just if you just give the customer that very low price, or just the gift vouchers, or just buy the user by spending a lot of money on advertising, it will be very costly, and the people just the customer just come to you to utilize this coupon or utilize this benefit, and after that they will go away and never come back. But actually, that when we work for a unicorn e-commerce in Vietnam, for example, we pick up some category that we think that very interesting and can build up a community in the social network. For
Yeah.
example, we create a community for the garden lover. We build up a community for the to selling the skin in the game for the gamer or something like
Yes.
that. And we can gather a lot of people that have the common sense or common interested in into a community. And after that, uh, they believe the admin of the group more than the advertising. I can say that. So
Yes.
that's why we can save a lot of money for the brand, but also have a very loyalty customer there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, it's not buying the customer, it's that constant value building and the
Yes.
trust that you actually create within that community. And that's often very hard to do. So knowing that you have done this so many times over and over and over again, for companies that are unicorns, in the Asian market, that's absolutely exciting. And I think even more so exciting for the company that you're building because COOCO stands for cooking community, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So Allison, over the time, you're working with Rio in the marketing agency, back in Vietnam, doing these incredible things together, building all of these different communities. Tell us about what really started COOCO because we know you like to spend, some of your free time just strolling through grocery stores. And
Mm-hmm.
Rio is really like, a solid home chef. Everyone loves her cooking. She tries different things all the time, and she'll tell us a little bit more of her background there. But where did the real idea of COOCO start? Like, what problem were you guys seeing happening in the market for a new community like this to be developed?
Actually, I must give the credit to a year to Rio because she was the one who think that we should build a virtual fridge, and then from the virtual fridge we kept expanded to the cooking community. But the moment that crystallized the problem COOCO solved hit me in my own kitchen about during the COVID time when we had limited limitation from going out, so we couldn't get access to the fresh food as it used to be.
Mhm.
Because like in Asia, in Asian country, you can go to the supermarket or you can go to the wet market like every single day to get the fresh food.
Yeah.
So the fresh ingredient, the fresh food is not our big concern, but it was in during the COVID time. So and at the same time when I opened the fridge at my house, like it's full of food, but I was frustrated because like half of them just went bad because we bought it, we took it all the way back in the fridge, and then
Yeah.
we tend to forgot about it. So I was holding like a half used bag of spinach and the other salad, the other veggie, and they all turned slimy, and I had to throw them away. So on the other side, on the new grocery haul, my parents just came home with another like bag of spinach. They didn't even think of like checking the fridge before going out to buy new food. So I was like half of my energy was sorting the fridge, throwing the spoiled ingredient away, and half of the other energy was like sorting the ingredient that my parents just bought home and placed them in the fridge. And I was like so frustrated. And it's not just me, but when I discuss about this problem with Rio, with my other friend or family member, they all do the same. Like they think like throwing food in the fridge is normal. If it went bad, just throw it and buy the new ingredient. And that just struck something from me that this isn't good. Like be, just because we have the ability to access to the wet market or the supermarket doesn't mean that we can throw away the food uh, without feeling guilty. So
Yeah.
I think that we need to have a plan to n- use up everything we have before we go to the supermarket for the next trip to avoid wasting food because wasting food is wasting money and time. And at the same time, like at a friend's dinner party, I watched that friend of mine scribble a grocery list and admitting that they had no idea what was in the pantry. So they had to bought everything, they had to buy everything new to create the dishes for the party, even though that they already have the food at home. So
Yeah.
I think that is a universal problem that nobody talk about it. We always joke with each other between me and Rio that is an elephant in the kitchen and no one ever see it. And we
Yeah.
need to talk about it. We need to really do something about it. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, like throwing the money away, throwing the food away, because we have the privilege to do that. And now we need to stop it. Um, Not only in Asia, but also in the North America as well.
Yeah, it's like you said, it is truly a universal problem for anybody that really has access to food all the time with a supermarket right nearby. And as you were describing, you're throwing out slimy spinach from the fridge and your parents are bringing home fresh spinach
Yeah,
at the same time. That is absolutely something that's happened in my house multiple times. Sometimes I'm the one doing the grocery shopping and I don't actually even know what's in the fridge myself either. So, from a problem perspective, there should be something that helps us sort of keep track of that because, more and more I'm seeing that becomes a lot of mental work that women typically take on in the household that others in the house don't really keep track of. But what if, your kids have to go and do the groceries that day, or, your partner has to go and do the groceries that day? They might not even decide to check the fridge to see what's there and what's not, or what's in the pantry or what's not. So, knowing that that specific experience and you couldn't get it out of your mind, was this before or during the time that Rio had the idea of a digital fridge? And how did you sort of bring those things together to eventually evolve into the cooking community?
Actually, that I have the idea of the virtual fridge a long time ago. Before that, when I worked for the marketing agency in Vietnam, like OGV, we worked with some very big electronic company, and they do a smart fridge already, but that's just allow their customer who purchase a intelligent intelligent fridge, and it costs a lot of money to use the smart function. But actually that the smart function that just help you to see through the fridge or know what's still on your fridge. That's it. So at that time I thought that why don't we have everybody can access into a smart fridge, even even if they don't have a smart fridge physically. So
Yeah.
I come up with that idea. And another thing is because we were born in Asian country, a place that don't allow us to just throw the food,
Yeah.
just throwing the food into the garbage, because when we were young, our mom always said that never waste the food because it's not just the money, it's also, yeah, you will become like when you die you will go to hell because just because you throwing the food or
Waste the
something like
food.
that. So we have very interesting story in Asia. So that's why every time that we just uh, take some um, expired food in our fridge or pantry and put it into the garage bag, we feel a little bit guilty,
Mhm.
and day after day, I think that it's a very, very big problem. It's not just a small problem that people think, it's just a little bit money, we can go to shopping or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's why we came up with that idea. And I can see that Alison is also a girl that I know that she loved to do something for the earth. She loved to do something in. She's the one who gave me some reusable bag in my home country, and asked me to use it. Don't use the nylon bag or something like that. So I think that maybe she will like this idea, and why don't we collaborate to make this happen?
I love that. I love that. And Allison, what made you say yes?
Uh, uh, Rio just told the whole story, but I think like when we create COOCO and we work on this journey together, the virtual fridge not only help you not to waste food, but also help you to keep track of the quality of the food also because you know like because we're Asian and Asian moms, they tend to serve everything in the freezer. Like
Yeah.
I mean like basically everything. Sometimes I can find a can of pea in my freezer and the expiry date is like 2022.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and I had to tell my mom to throw it away and she denied because she was like, yeah, I put it in the freezer. How can it went bad?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they just open it and it still smell good, so they will use
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also said to Alison that is when you become a mom, you will have the same idea with them. You will have
Yeah.
the same thinking with them because you need to control the money. You need to save something for the kids, save something for the study for them or something like that. So you need to save a lot of money. So why don't people use the COOCO app right now? Because they can save the money, but they can still use the good food at a good time. And yeah, they can save a lot of for the kids also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like in the beginning, COOCO is just the virtual fish. So our main idea is to help people keep track of what's on their fridge. But because we see a lot of moms' behavior around us like this one, even for my mom, she put like the the food in the freezer from 2022 to 2023 until now. And she was hoping one day she can use them. So we think that, yeah, people should also keep track of the expiry date so they can know like when the food went bad, when the food go bad, and we can encourage them to use all the food they have at home so they don't have to toss everything in the freezer and forget about the food that they already have. So
Yeah.
that's why like when we build Coco, it's a journey that from day to day we observe our own behavior. We observe the behavior of the people around us, like our moms, our aunts, our friends, and we come up with the new function for Google based on those observation and experiences.
Yeah. And so you went from, the idea of the digital fridge and now the community based on all of these different experiences of people around you that are a little bit anecdotal in terms of, they're people close to you. But again, this is what happens to almost everybody that is responsible for a kitchen. And one of the things you mentioned earlier was, the elephant in the kitchen is sort of just throwing food away and nobody's really talking about it. But now you're utilizing your your previous experience in creating communities and now creating a new community about how you manage the fridge, how you utilize everything in it, and how do you save money around that as well. But not only that, but how do you use the food as effectively as possible so it can give you the most nutrition, because the fresher the food, the more healthy the food is for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are so many different aspects of how you can bring food together to bring more life to people, to bring more joy to people. So what are one of the first big steps for, you know, creating this cooking community? What are some of the things you hope people can use the cooking community for?
We uh we will have our website launch hopefully at the end of this month, and the application will by the end of this year. But now we are helping people that we are create uh, some community in our social platform to help people to connect together and sharing the tips, trick how to uh, utilize these coupon for shopping or utilize the flyer. And actually that, as I said before, for people, they two main important thing that I think that's the first thing is community. Every people was born and they need to communication. So a community for them for communication and sharing their uh, like hobbies or something like that will help them a lot. They are not feeling lonely in this journey. For example, they don't feel like they just like a weird guy who is just try to find a lot of flyers to save money, save every single loony, something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, they can come in the community that every people will be like exactly the same, sharing the tips, sharing the coupon, or sharing the flyer, and and help each other how to save the money in this inflation time. And
Yes.
in that community, they can have other people to explore the new things, like try the curry not just in an Indian way or in Japanese style or in Thai style or Vietnamese style, something like
Yes.
that. And we want to make something that's very fun in a smart way.
Mhm.
So the slogan of us is also the make home cooking smart and fun, like that. Smart
Yeah.
is for the AI, for the chatbot that can help you, and fun is help you to know that cooking is not just you're responsible for just doing it every day. It's a choice. It's a fun. It's have to connect the people in the home. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I love the idea of, having a space where people that just love food and but also want to save money can do both of those things in one place. Because
Yeah.
like you said, inflation is very high right now. A lot of people don't have a lot of jobs. So where you can save money becomes very, very critical. And eating is something we all have to do on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
no matter how high inflation goes, we still have to eat. So how can we make sure we're throwing away less food, but and
Yeah.
using the food in a very creative way by
Yeah.
seeing what is my neighbor down the street who's also in this community doing with, I don't know, their empty jar of peanut butter where they're just like, there's still some peanut butter in this jar. What can I do with it? Maybe they can make a sauce using
Yeah.
peanut butter, like the slightly empty peanut butter jar, and just shake all the ingredients up in there and make a salad dressing or something like that. That I think is really exceptional because there's so many reasons for us to come together around food, but we don't always have to do it at restaurants, right? We could
That's
start
true.
to do it inside of our own houses. And like you said, sharing the kitchen and sharing the experience with the people in our own homes when it comes to the kitchen. And I remember Allison saying to me the other day, the kitchen felt like a space where only somebody that knows how to cook should be in, right? And a lot of people are scared of the kitchen. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, this community really releases the fear from stepping into the kitchen and starting to cook. How how do you think somebody who wants to cook but is scared they're just gonna burn everything, they burn water, they burn their eggs, they don't even know how to make eggs, how can this cooking community help them feel more comfortable in the kitchen?
I
Um,
think yes, you can go first and then I'll add up.
Actually, that I think that cooking is not just like um, very hard thing. I think um, the kid need to be taught how to care to cook when they were young. And actually that in COOCO we also have a section for kids, a mini chef or junior chef or something like that, because we want every mom, every dad to encourage their kid to help them. uh, First thing first, that they will be they need to have the responsible for their food every day, and after that they can help mom and dad to prepare for the food for the lunch box or something like that. This will very fun. And another thing is um, we want them to join uh, in a very soon time, because cooking is not just a cooking. They can learn how to be patient. They can learn how to be sharpen their skill and learn to how to explore more information in the internet, utilize them to make a new dishes, something like that. So For your question, I think that if you have a child, let them download the COOCO app and learn some fun cooking recipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are an adult now, but you don't cook for your whole life and now you wanted to start, just start it. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
just do it. Don't be afraid because no one born to be a home cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to
Everyone.
add up that
Yeah.
right from the start, for both Rio and I, we didn't want to build just a product. We want to foster a movement around reducing food waste and making mindful, impactful cooking accessible to everyone.
Hmm.
So even for me, the first time I entered the kitchen and cooked something for myself was when I was 18. I was forced, not forced, but I was sent to the state as an exchange student. And before that, I lived with my parents. So basically, my parents put the food on the table, and I just need to enjoy the food, and that's the way it is. But when I was living alone in the state, I had to feed myself. And that's when I first go to the grocery store. That's when I first create my own dishes.
Hmm.
And it wasn't perfect. Like you don't need to be perfect for the first time. When you work, when you learn how to drive, it 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 isn't perfect. So why should you expect that your first cooking need to be perfect? So you can burn the egg, you can spill the milk whatsoever, but you will learn for the next time. So for our community, even though that we have the small community, but some people just don't just sharing their perfect cooking, perfect dishes or tip and trick. Sometimes they just share photos of their messed up fried rice, and they ask the other people like, yeah, I create the fried rice with eggs with rice, but they all became messy. What did I do wrong, and how can I improve it for the next time? And you will see the other people with skill will analyze like, why is the rice so messy, why is the fried rice so wet,
Hmm.
and what can they improve? So they will give out the tip and trick. And that's the community that we want to build, and we are building it, and we are proud of it. So people are connecting and helping each other through the dishes. Not
Yeah.
they are not just a It's not just a place where you show up your cooking skill, but
Hmm.
it's a place that you can help people enhance their cooking skill as well.
Yeah, I really like that because you never really see the failure of the processes before people become these exceptional cooks that share all of their recipes and things like that in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that happened to myself. So I've really gotten into making sourdough breads over the last year. And earlier this year, I made my first big batch of sourdough breads, which was about 10 loaves I made all
Wow.
at once. And I made the unfortunate mistake of not letting them raise enough out of taking them out of the second fermentation long enough. Those that know sourdough bacon will know what this means. And I just put it into the oven. And so my bread came out really flat. I was documenting the whole journey up to that point, and then I never posted the photo of the 10 breads that came out. They were still very delicious, but they weren't big and round and fluffy. They were very flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moments like that that I think we should share a little bit more, knowing that, the journey is not perfect every time. And now, like you said, Allison, I've learned from that experience to know
Mm-hmm.
that I need to give my bread at least 4 hours outside to get nice and warm and fluffy again before I put it in the oven to bake. And I didn't share that. And I think if I were just learning and didn't know enough about it, that's something I could take and post in the group and say, I tried, this is what happened. And maybe an expert chef can, not even necessarily an expert chef, but somebody more experienced than me in this specific thing can come in and say, well, maybe you could do this next time or do that next time. And I think that's exactly how communities are created, is people saying, raising their hand to say, I need help here, and then somebody actually showing up to help, which I think the kitchen is a place that a lot of people feel like they need a lot of rescue from and they're scared of it. And I think you're absolutely right for creating a space where people can feel more comfortable in the kitchen. And like Rio talked about, bringing your kids into the kitchen a little earlier because of course, our moms love to cook. We love their food. But maybe we aren't doing the kids, good service by not teaching them how to cook at younger ages. And then they're afraid of the kitchen once they get a little bit older as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing. So COOCO is launching very, very soon.
Yeah.
At the end of May, your website will be ready for people to come in and start tracking like what's in their fridge, what's in their pantries. They'll be able to share some of their recipes as well in the cooking community and
Yes,
also
true.
get help from a safe space, somebody that has a lot of experience, hopefully in that area, to help them build up their confidence in the kitchen. And I can absolutely see a world where COOCO can absolutely create this opportunity for so many people. So on this journey now, going from you know, Rio being your boss at one time, and now Allison and Rio coming together to co-create a community and a company. How has that experience worked for you guys? Because I see I see this as very exceptional, especially on your behalf, Rio, to see that Allison, who you first got introduced to during her internship when you worked corporately, to now trusting her as, a co-founder in a company and approaching her with that problem. How did you decide that Allison had all of these skills and she was the right partner for you in this business venture?
Actually, that when I worked in Ogilvy, I have more than 4 interns, not
Mm-hmm.
just one. And beside interns, I also have some account executive who worked for me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I see some things in Allison. That's why I invite her to jump out with me and open the marketing agency, not all the people, because I can see that she's kind of people that love to explore the new information, love to adapt the more uh, the new information, the new knowledge, or something like that, and use into our system. But yeah, sometimes you know that um, sometimes you don't have enough the energy to do that, like her. She can
Yeah.
go around, she can work with other people, she can explore more new connection. It's not it's not work for me, but she can do that. And
Yeah.
I can do something like back office or something like that. And after that, we can work together to make make things done. And another thing is I I can be her mentor, but I cannot be the mentor for a lot of people,
Mm.
a lot of another people. So, but she had the ability to do that. So
Yeah.
when I taught her how to do this, how to do that, she can share that spirit, share that kind of work, style of work to all the people behind her. And
Yeah.
she helped me a lot in that. So I think that we are kind of, perfect couple in working.
I really like that, and I think it's so impressive because people often see people that are younger and less experienced, and they don't see them as having the opportunity necessarily to elevate to that level of being an equal. And I think your ability to trust Allison and see her potential and actually give her the experience and the space to do what she's doing and now working with you. She's obviously proved herself over the years, but I think it's incredible because you didn't underestimate her in any way. You really leaned into her potential, and now you're partners in this. And I think a lot of people can learn from that. It's not necessarily about age, it's not necessarily about what direct experience they have, but can this person use the skills they have and really know what they're good at? And you identified what you're not good at as well, Rio.
Yeah.
You saw that in Allison and you said, she's the perfect partner for me in this. So, Allison, I'd love to turn it over to you to see, you know, were you a little bit scared to work with Rio, who was, sort of your boss at some time? Were you scared to step into this role as a partner in this business?
To now.
So so the way that Rio the way that Rio guide me through the project is as Rio just mentioned before, our pros and cons complement each other, and also our mindset, our working style also click. So that's why we can work together for over 10 years. Even
Yeah,
though that for those 10 years, of course, we are not the perfect couple. We fight sometimes,
yeah,
we disagree sometimes, but
hmm,
eventually we talk it out and we find the solution that match both of us expectation. So that's the way it rolls. And for me, I'm thankful to meet Rio because as you mentioned, she trusts me enough to delegate and build the skill set for me. And
hmm,
she know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at to operate, enhance my good skill set and eliminate my limitations.
yeah,
So yeah, it's good to have someone like that. And the way I'm working with Rio is that until now, even though that we are other people can see us as equal partners. But
mm,
for me, in my point of view, she's still my mentor, and I can still have a lot to learn from her.
yeah,
Yep.
Actually, that this way is not just for me and Allison, it's also applied for all the people in our team.
hmm,
Actually, that for the UI UX designer or from the tech team or the content team that we work like this. Um, every people in our team will have the voice, and they will have the pros and cons, and we try to find what they're good at, what they're not good at, and try to help them. And we like a family. exactly. Because when we try to mentor anyone, we put a lot of effort on that. So that's
Mm.
why we don't usually have a lot of intern or usually hire a lot of staff because we need to have the uh, responsibility for them and try to help them to roll off.
Yeah, that's, I think that's absolutely paramount when you're growing a company. And you've done this before as well, Rio. So to be doing it again, I think is very exciting and you've certainly learned. And I hope everyone listening to this podcast can absolutely learn, especially from learning how to trust and bring people into your team and really being able to look at yourself to say, what am I not good at? And how do I find those opportunities in other people where we can work together and we're all willing to continually learn and grow and to see that goes beyond just your relationship and partnership with Allison and extended to the rest of the COOCO team is very, very, very exciting to hear about and something I will learn because as a founder myself, I struggled and never actually, there was a point in time I was actively looking for a co-founder for over 2 years consistently, very, very hard. Test drived a couple people, but it never worked out. So I'm always very curious about um, what how these partnerships that come together work really well. And for that to happen with you guys over such a long period of time is, I think, very exceptional. So, as we wrap up the podcast, we have the three questions we want to ask you. So, and you can provide a one-word answer or a short sentence. What is one thing you are leaving behind from last year in your entrepreneurship journey? What's one thing you want to make sure that does not come with you into the future?
For me, is overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I spent too much time second guessing decision, trying to find the perfect path before taking the first step.
Hmm.
But I've learned that clarity often comes after action, not before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm leaving overthinking behind and choosing the momentum over the hesitation.
I really, really like that. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to clip this one because I think it's so powerful is clarity comes with action. I love that a lot, Rio. I'm gonna take that one away for me for sure. And what about you, Allison? What are you leaving behind?
So what I'm leaving behind is also perfection. So like before that, we have worked together for over 9 years
Hmm.
in advertising agency. So we basically create plans and strategy for other companies or the clients of us. And we need to make sure that everything is perfect, everything has a backup plan so that we can deliver the best to our clients. And I brought that mindset into my first year as an entrepreneur. I chased the idea of the version of our product, our pitch, and our strategy. And that pursuit of perfection often paralyzed process and prevented us from getting valuable real-world feedback.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm trying to leave behind the perfectionist mindset and trying to embrace the progress, trust the progress,
I
and
love that.
accept the thing that is good enough to go.
Hmm.
Yep.
80% is better than spending more time just to get to 100% because
Yeah,
100% is probably never gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true. And it's the different perspective also because now we are an entrepreneur. We need to speed up our and time is not our friends anymore, it's our enemy. So the faster we can launch our product, the better. But before that, when we work for our clients, we need to perfect everything because they also trust us with our expertise. So
Yeah.
yep, that's the different mindset that I need to
yeah.
separate.
Sometimes we just the plan B of them.
Yeah.
So they also don't be a perfectionist like us,
Yeah.
just because we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah. That's a very good one too. Okay, so our next question is what is one thing that you have learned? The biggest thing that you've learned?
Yeah, resilience. The journeys had taught me how to bend without breaking. There
Mm,
were tough days, unexpected pivots, and moments of down, a lot of moments of down. But
Yeah.
I kept going. Resilience isn't just about enduring challenges, it's also about growing stronger because of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you can bend a little bit more and a little bit
yeah,
easier, and it's not going to hurt as much.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. How about you, Allison?
So it's the same but different. For me, it's persistent. So the most valuable lesson I learned was that entrepreneurship is fundamentally about continuing to move forward
Mhm.
despite the obstacle. So someday you will feel really tired. Someday you will doubt yourself, like, why are you doing this? But every day is a fresh day to start. So if you have that moment, just think that maybe I just need to walk for 5 minutes today. And if I still don't feel like it, I can stop and do something else. And
Yeah.
then while working for the first 5 minutes, you will get into the zone where you keep working and another day has passed. And it wasn't the technical challenges emerged or wasn't the expertise or connection that got us through. It's just simple the persistent, showing up from day after day to solve the problem, gradually transform the impossible into the achievable.
Yeah. The impossible into the achievable. Um, that is I just need to have a word wall with all the things that our entrepreneurs are saying on these podcasts. But though, like this, like your answers right now, and I know we have one more question to answer, is one of the absolute reasons I love doing this podcast and getting to speak to entrepreneurs because this is such a hard journey and having hear other entrepreneurs say the things that you have to say to yourself or say the things that really resonate with you is, I think, so important to keep you going. And a lot of people that listen to this podcast are actually other entrepreneurs as well too. And so this is why I ask these questions because I realize that other people are thinking about them, but not necessarily thinking about them in this structure. But when you can, it helps you create like this marker of where am I going to start this thing? And then next year, I'm going to look back and say, this is how I actually did it and achieve it. So, in a way, just setting goals for yourself, but personal goals to like help you keep moving forward. And so, our last question is what is one thing you are taking into the future with you and that you hope will show up in every single way in your future selves in this entrepreneurial journey?
For me, it's clarity.
Hmm
After everything we built and learned, I'm moving into the future with a sharper sense of purpose. I'm
hmm
clearer than ever about our mission with COOCO and who we are serving and the kind of positive change we want to create. The clarity is my compass now.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Allison?
So for me, it's connection. And we all know, because we're entrepreneur, we all know that it takes a village to build a product.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a connection to build a village. So the magic doesn't happen in the feature or in the code. It happens in the space between people. So
Mhm.
connection is the difference between making something the people need and making something the people care about. So at COOCO, we are not just connecting the ingredient with the fridge or with the recipe. We are connecting the human to the possibility. So in the world of transactions, we are betting on transformation. And because when we are now connecting the dots, we hopefully we can solve the problems. But when you connect the people, we can create the movement.
And what a better way to end the podcast in, leaning into transformation and leaning into creating a movement. I I absolutely love it. I have no other words other than that.
Mhm.
And so it has been such a pleasure chatting with both you, Rio and Allison, about COOCO. And we can't wait to see what COOCO is going to be doing in the future. We're excited to celebrate your launch with you as we help people save more money, reduce their food waste, and make sure that people are just feeling more confident in the kitchen through the community that you're creating, where newbies and experts and home chefs can all come together and help people create connection around food again, because that's ultimately what you're building. So we will be sure to definitely put all of your social media handles and everything in the podcast description. That's where you can find COOCO and absolutely support their launch and start knowing what's inside your fridge. So thanks again, Allison and Rio. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
thank you. And just want to shout out to your listener who is also entrepreneur. I
Mhm.
just want to say that for everyone out there thinking about starting something, just focus on the community, building something that people can feel a part of, whether it's food, art, or tech. If people feel seen and supported, they will help you to grow it. And as for Coco, as you said before, right now we are super excited about our upcoming web and application launch, and we already built a community of nearly 200,000 people who are ready to join. We hope you will be a part of it too. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So if you miss that, you need to be part of over 200,000 people that have already registered to be part of the Cuckoo launch. So don't miss out. I will be joining, and we will certainly be reminding you once we launch this podcast. We will see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're so glad to have you as part of our Buzzworthy community as we grow our network of buzzworthy businesses. Continue to follow us on all the social media platforms at buzzworthy_pod and follow us on whatever platform you're listening to so that you can get the new episodes as soon as they're out. This Buzzworthy podcast could not be done without our incredible team, starting with our music by Khaled Imam, our video and sound engineer, James Clark, Yvette Robichaux, our social media manager, Cesar Cardania, our brand and creative lead, and finally, your host and executive producer, Shalacy Harris. We'll see you next week.